Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, things are heating up in the NFC South, and the Atlanta Falcons are right in the thick of it. The buzz around the league is that the Falcons are making a bold move that could shake the division, and potentially the entire playoff picture. It's all centered around a high-profile rumor. The Falcons are eyeing a trade for Jalen Phillips, the talented edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins. And let me tell you, this isn't just any rumor. It could be a game-changer, a move that redefines how Atlanta approaches their pass rush and their overall defensive strategy. But why would the Falcons go after Phillips? Well, let's dive into the details. First, it's important to understand the context around Phillips and why he's such an attractive target. Jalen Phillips, drafted 18th overall in 2021, has shown flashes of being an elite pass rusher. His career stats are impressive: 38 sacks, 82 pressures, and a PFF pass rush grade of 88. That's the kind of production that teams dream of from their first-round picks. In 2025, he's already posted 7 sacks, 19 QB hits, and a 22% win rate, which is quite solid considering the NFL standards. His EPA per sack is 31, indicating he's effective at creating negative plays for offenses. Moreover, he's versatile enough to project around 14 or more sacks in a rotational role, which would be a huge boost for any defense. Now, what's interesting is the situation with the Dolphins. Miami, under head coach Mike McDaniel, is in a bit of a rebuild phase, especially on the defensive front. They're ranked 29th in the league in defensive line sacks per game, averaging just 19 sacks. Their defense as a whole isn't applying enough pressure, and the team struggles against the run, allowing an average of 152 yards per game. Highlight a defense in need of an upgrade, especially on the edge rush. Miami's cap situation also plays a role here. With around $20 million in cap space, they're prioritizing re-signing their key offensive players like Waddle and rebuilding the offensive line, which is ranked 25th and allowing 3.2 sacks per game. The defense, on the other hand, is struggling, ranking 30th in EPA per run allowed at 156 yards per game. So the Dolphins are looking to rebuild with youth, focusing on developing their offensive line and supporting their offense, especially after Tua Tagovailoa's recent concussion issues that sidelined him for 4 games this season. They're skeptical about investing heavily in an aging or expensive edge rusher like Phillips, especially considering their focus on bolstering the offensive line and their overall rebuild strategy. The deadline for trades is November 4th, and with the Dolphins needing to free up some cap space, around $16 million, they're open to making moves, including trading Phillips to help fund extensions for their young stars and free agents. Now, the Atlanta Falcons see an incredible opportunity here. They're currently sitting at 3-4, with a defense that ranks 24th in sacks per game at 2-2. But that's where the potential for a turnaround comes in. Adding Phillips, a player with all-pro potential, could be the catalyst for their pass rush to explode. Think about it. Phillips, paired with Lorenzo Carter, who has already racked up 4 sacks this season, could create a dynamic duo capable of doubling the pressure on opposing quarterbacks. His ability to generate pressure, averaging over 12 pressures in 2023, mirrors some of the best edge rushers in the league, like Nick Bosa. His technique, speed, and bend off the edge make him a nightmare for offensive linemen, and his recent performance with a PFF grade of 89. One against the Patriots after returning from a knee injury shows he's healthy and ready to dominate. This move could elevate the Falcons' pass rush significantly. They're already a solid team, but they've struggled to consistently pressure quarterbacks and force turnovers. With Phillips on the outside, they could increase their external pressure, forcing mistakes and creating more opportunities for turnovers, something they desperately need. The Falcons' defense is also complemented by Judon, who boasts a PFF grade of 85.4. His presence, along with Phillips, could turn the Falcons into a disruptive front that can challenge even the best offensive lines. And don't forget, Atlanta's defense has been improving in key areas, especially against mobile quarterbacks, where they become more effective at containing scrambles and extending pressure. When we look at the bigger picture, this potential trade isn't just about one player. It's about transforming the Falcons' entire defensive identity. By adding Phillips, they could project a defense that averages around 3/8 sacks per game, drastically improving their ability to control games and set up their offense for success. That's particularly important in divisional matchups where each game can be a playoff preview. The Falcons, with a new, more aggressive pass rush, could push their win total into the 9-8 range, possibly sneaking into the playoffs and making some noise once they get there. Now, let's talk about the odds. The betting markets are starting to reflect this potential shift. Odds for the Falcons' playoff success, initially at +10-0, have shortened to around +3-800, indicating that the market sees a real possibility of the Falcons making a push, especially if they secure Phillips. His presence could be the X factor when it comes to clutch moments in the postseason, similar to how some of the great pass rushers like Mack have stepped up in critical games. The addition of a player like Phillips could turn Atlanta from a decent team into a legitimate playoff threat, especially with their improved pass rush and overall team dynamics. Looking ahead, the vision for the Falcons with Phillips is clear. It's about forging a dominant defensive line capable of wreaking havoc on opponents, creating turnovers, and giving their offense more opportunities to score. With the likes of Lorenzo Carter, Judon, and Phillips, they could develop a front that's not just good but elite, one that can rival the best in the league. The potential for a turnaround is real, and it could set the stage for a historic season in Atlanta. Fans are already excited, and with this move potentially happening before the trade deadline, anticipation is building. The Falcons are positioning themselves for a fierce push in the second half of the season. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think acquiring Jalen Phillips is the right move? Can he be the difference maker that propels Atlanta into the playoffs and beyond? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. Remember, I'll be back very soon with more updates, analysis, and news, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. This is a team on the rise, and with bold moves like this, the future looks bright for the Atlanta Falcons. We're witnessing a strategic shift, a bold step toward contention, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds in the coming weeks. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, stay passionate, stay informed, and go Falcons.